Hello, this is Corinne from the Woolly Thistle. I'm with Maggie. We're an online yarn store with now brick and mortar as well, which is very exciting. But welcome to the Woolly Thistle. This is episode number 239, if that's right.
Yeah.
And we just got back from Rhinebeck last night or yesterday evening. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I slept really well last night in my own bed.
That's lovely.
So yeah, I'm kind of ready to get back to it.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Rhinebeck. We'll share pictures, maybe some video. We've got a packed episode as usual. And just some housekeeping first. We were running pips all weekend. For those of you not at Rhinebeck, you could get double pips. So thank you for shopping with us. If you did over the weekend, we hope that sort of helped your Rhinebeck FOMO if you weren't there. I know what it's like not to be at these things, and it's quite hard. But we hope that you took advantage and enjoyed that. And we continue to have the pips program, so you can still sign up and earn pips when you shop with us and then redeem them with your ordering. For a spot on the show, we love it when we get you contributing to our show. We had Sharika and Barb. Was that on the last episode or the one before? Now I don't remember. But we love it. So if you want to spot on the show, there's instructions on how to do that on the website. Just go to connect in the menu and there'll be a contributor form that you can fill in and tell us you want to be on the show, and we'd love to have you. Free shipping on all orders over $99, US shipping that is, and $4.95 otherwise in the US. And always check the show notes down below for links to anything we're talking about. We try to be really thorough with that, and you can find out what we're talking about or what we're wearing on the show notes down below. Maggie, we have contributors this episode. We have, let's see, we've got a segment from Emma, I think Kelsey as well, and then Kim will take us out as usual. So I look forward to that. Because of the weekend, I'm not sure what they're talking about yet, but we'll watch that all together. Yeah. Okay, so Maggie, what do you want to tell us? Do you want to tell us what you're wearing?
I think we need to talk about what you're wearing.
Oh, this little thing?
This thing is, people have seen this before, but...
So this is my FO. It's done. It's the Agnes cardi. And I wore it to Rhinebeck on Saturday. And completely finished, except maybe I will trim the steek and put some ribbon on the inside. But it's sitting nicely anyway without that. And I've got my Thistler buttons, which are, whoa, like that. They're pewter, and we have those, and I love it. I was concerned about the arm. The arms are they are quite loose, but you know what? I think that goes with the style of the cardigan. It's fine. I thought at one point that I had picked up the wrong number of stitches, but everything is as it should be. And after a good blocking, which is like magic, it did look much better. So yeah, this is it. And thank you if you saw us at Rhinebeck and told me that you liked it. That was really lovely. And yes, we are working to put kits together for you, or at least yarn sets. We won't have the pattern. You'll have to get that direct from Kristin Wiola. So this is the Agnes cardigan by Kristin Wiola. She has an eBook with lots of beautiful sweaters. I think I'm going to start looking to see what one I want to knit next. But this was in there, and there's two versions of this. There's this one, and then there's the darker one, and Sarah of Fibre will be knitting the darker one. And it's really lovely too.
While she was here, she picked up yarn, and you could see her colors. They were amazing.
I do want to give a shout out to Julie. I think Julie was the inspiration for me knitting this. I hope we have a photo that we can put in here. Julie was wearing this cardigan last year, and I shouted at her and said, hey,
at Rhinebeck
last year, what are you wearing? And so she kindly told me we put a picture here, and through the grapevine she found out that I
you were then talking about it on the Shopcast.
Yeah, exactly. So bumped into her and got a picture, which was really fun. So that's what I'm wearing. It's done. It practically knitted itself, probably because I wasn't designing it. I was just following Kristin's pithy instructions, and really enjoyed knitting it, and can't wait to start another one.
That's great. It looks wonderful.
Thank you very much. I did change out some coloring because she called for some other things like alpaca, which of course we don't have. So this is 100% Rauma Finull garn in some like colors. Also, we were out of stock of some stuff when I picked them. So they're you know, but that's really nice. You can make up your own too.
Yeah. So we'll put yarn sets together that
for
are
this
in this
one
colorway.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can go rogue from there if you want to change things out and add to your
for sure
your kit with some other colors. Okay, Maggie, do you want to tell the
sure,
next people?
I will tell people what I'm wearing, in case you've not seen it before. I'm wearing the Belmont cardigan by Gudrun Johnston. It has this beautiful lace panels on the front.
Was that written for Jameson?
It was. So I'm actually wearing the color, I'm wearing the color that you see in the pattern, which is, it's knit in Jameson and Smith Heritage, which is their worsted spun.
It's just lovely.
It really is really lovely.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes.
And I like wearing it in this in between weather.
Oh my gosh, it's so cold.
This morning.
Yes, it was cold this morning, and it's going to get up to mid-70s today. Yeah. So we'll be stripping off.
I did have one quick shout out, if I can. Well, I know we have a lot of shout outs later because we met so many of you. And I have forgotten your name, but my mother-in-law has a friend down in Florida who recently had surgery, and her friend is a Thistler.
Was she the one that caught us at India Untangle?
No.
Okay.
No, she's in Florida recuperating from her surgery.
Okay.
But I wanted to give her a shout out and say hello. I have your name written down in a text that I can't read right now because we're recording. But hello, and thank you all for being here. But I just wanted to give a little shout out.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hi, and recuperating, so get better
heal
soon.
Quickly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Is this a good segue to talk about Rhinebeck?
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think this was my favorite Rhinebeck ever.
Yeah.
First of all, the weather.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing weather. Yeah. Gorgeous weather. A little warm on Saturday, but still absolutely, and I wore this thing all day. It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was cool in the morning, which is, this
lovely.
time of year in New England, that's just the way that it goes. And then by midday, you were peeling off layers. Yeah. So,
But it was phenomenal, and it was busy. I think the good weather brought people out. Yeah. So it was a sea of people everywhere. Mm-hmm. But my my MO on Saturday morning was because I missed the pre-order for merch from the event itself. Yeah. I had to go straight to waiting in the line, and they made the tent much bigger this year, but the line still took a good hour, I think, to get in there. So when we arrived, I went straight there and got my kids their t-shirts, which I do, and then it was time to go and meet everybody up at Bat and Kill. Yeah. So Rambler was at Bat and Kill. We got to touch base with with Mary Jean and see how it did, but it was doing really well when we were there. We said hello to lots of people on Saturday morning at 11, and you met the whole team. We were all there pretty much, and that's another thing, is we were there as a team. We had 9 employees there, and 9 were still here back at the shop. But so that tells you how many we've got now, which is crazy. But we had, Caitlin flew in from Indiana, and Renee drove from Ohio, which that still feels like a really long way to go. And then we were all there from the shop, right? Yeah. Was there anybody else that came remotely? I don't think so.
Kelsey came.
Kelsey came from Vermont, that's right.
And Emma came up from...
And Emma from Baltimore. Yeah. Yes, there was, oh my gosh. So Rhinebeck is a great draw, and we took advantage of that by getting a house together and just hanging out and knitting at night and doing all the things. It was really, really fun. Good times. So Rhinebeck. So then we went to, well, I don't know what you did when you got there. Did you make a
When I got there, I had pre-ordered a bag. So I went to the milk parlor where you go pick up bags.
You're on the ball.
And I met a lovely, there were Thistlers behind me. I met a lovely woman and her husband. I'm sorry, I don't remember your names. We met so many amazing people this weekend. It
was wild. I know. We try to remember names. I certainly ask you for your name, and I try to put it in my brain. But yeah, we met great, lovely people. Yes, while waiting, we waited in a lot of lines on Saturday, and while waiting, people were just lovely. Are you the woolly thistle woman? I loved that one. Yeah. So lots of photos, which was fun. And it was really fun for me to see you get recognized so much, and Kelsey and Caitlin and Ruth. Oh, Ruth,
and
yes.
Jill,
and
yeah.
Jill, yeah.
Mhm.
So, not sure what they made of that. I think it was all delightful and fun and lovely.
I think we all just really enjoyed it. There was just, you guys showed us so much love and warmth and enthusiasm.
Yes.
And I really wish I could remember everyone's name.
Yes.
I'm still a little brain dead from the whole experience.
We do.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, and
In
this
the
is
best way.
This is Monday morning, so we got home. I think I actually had to go do some grocery shopping and errands and things.
yeah.
So it was about 5 o'clock when I got in the door.
Yeah.
But we've got a group photo on the hill. We all met at 1 o'clock, and I think that was our biggest crowd yet, which was just lovely. And yeah, great photos. I do want to say hi to Dorothy, who is lovely. I love Dorothy, and we want to say hi to Mike and his daughter
Jamie.
Yeah, hi. And who else did we remember?
Jamie has actually been on the Shopcast.
Yes, that's
before.
right.
She was in a segment with I always
Joanne.
just call her Joanne, Jolala.
Yeah.
And they were in. We can put it in the corner if you want to see their segment again.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
They were so delightful.
Yeah.
Veda was there.
Yeah. Veda was there.
So
many people got to see Denise of
Earth
Tones Girl.
Yeah.
And we got to say hello to the grocery girls because they walked in. We went to India and Tangled, and we got in just before them, and we saw them walking in, so we got to say hi.
I surprised Anne of Caprine Cottage.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I like her podcast. It's really good. It's just a lot. If you've not checked
It's great.
it out, check
I
it
love
out.
her podcast too.
I came. She didn't see me coming, and so I surprised her a little bit. But I was just telling her I liked her podcast.
Yes. And she knew who we were. Yeah, which was lovely.
She was delightful.
So yeah, a really good time meeting everybody and just enjoying everything. Did a little shopping, not too much. So it was a really good time to just be with knitters, and knitters are the best. So
I was telling my husband last night that I wish the whole world could kind of be like Rhinebeck, because it was wonderful. Everybody was friendly. Like, it's a diverse group. Like, knitters are diverse.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful to see so many people and everybody just kind of chatting and sharing in our
talking to
common
strangers.
interest. It was really it was wonderful. You didn't see a lot of phone scrolling. Like, people were in line just chatting.
Yeah. And talking about their knits.
It really filled me up. It was wonderful.
Yeah. So thank you for saying hello if you did. We really appreciated it. You make us feel very loved.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, really. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Should we go to a segment, or do we want to announce a winner, or do we want to show them what's in the
shop? Let's announce a winner before I forget.
Okay.
I will forget.
We have winners.
We'll have no winners.
Yeah.
So we have two winners. Today, the first winner of a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle is at Kavita Deep Chand.
Okay.
We can put that there. And Kavita says, who wouldn't want to be on Maggie's gift knit list?
I know.
Everything is so beautiful. I'm busy working on baby gift knits. Oh. Thanks for another lovely episode. You are so welcome. Thank you for watching.
Yep.
Kavita, if you can send us an email at info@thewoollythistle, put prize winner in all caps, and we will get you your $25 gift card.
Yes, and if you would like to be in the running for a gift card next time, all you need to do is leave us a comment down below, click the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. That really helps the channel get to more people. And yeah, you'll be in the running for a $25 gift card next time, which is very nice, if I do say so. So we have one more winner to announce. We'll do that later. So shop news, we want to update you on the shop and how things are going here, which is great. But we do want to acknowledge that we've had a little bit of turnover in our fulfillment department, in as much as our two key people who ran fulfillment both had things in their lives where they were moving away. And so we are working on figuring out how to keep doing this while they're gone, while we replace and look for somebody. So if you know of anybody who has fulfillment supervisory experience, we'd be very interested in talking to them. We did unfortunately have someone come in and it wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be honest about it. You know, not everybody works out. And so when we realized that wasn't working out, Maggie and I have actually jumped in. So if you're ordering from us right now, you're getting us. And I know that I've mentioned on a couple of...
With the team.
Not just us. No, we definitely need the team, and we have the team. But I'm printing all the orders and making sure things are getting done in a timely way. Yeah. You're overseeing the team and the scheduling and all the things that we're packing. So it's a team effort right now for sure. Always is. But we're learning this job. We haven't done it for years.
Yeah, I think too, like we talk about the team and we're still small. So sometimes it does get a little bumpy. I think that's part of small business.
Yeah.
But we appreciate your support and your patience.
Yes.
And just
we are trying to do the best we can.
Yeah, we're working really hard so that your orders, everything is smooth and ships smoothly and quickly. And
and we are not behind right now. I think that we've managed to get caught up. And
we were behind for a little bit there, but I think we have managed to get caught up. And
if you find yourself having to email to get the status of your order, please do so. But we're trying to really get everyone through and out. And just know that, like Maggie says, we are a small team, and we have a lot of part-time people as well. So it's not that we're some huge operation here, just sort of churning out things.
When we talk about like the number of employees, most are part-time, and they're absolutely fabulous. We could not do it without them.
No, everybody really carries their own water here. So when we do lose people, we feel it. But I'm really actually enjoying being in that seat right now because I'm getting back to basics of the business, which I always enjoyed. Maybe writing a few notes here or there on various packing slips. But so just bear with us. Thank you for shopping with us. Thank you for trusting us. We really can't do this without you. You are what makes this all happen. Those are not just empty words. I really mean that. We know we're here because you shop with us, and we really appreciate that. And so sometimes, behind the scenes, things get a little off kilter. With people coming and going, and we're working on it. And until then, Maggie and I are right up there at the forefront, leading the charge to get your order to you. Yeah. Okay, so what are you knitting on, Maggie? Are you knitting on anything right now?
I brought some gift knitting with me. Because we have our gift make along. That is, it started now. You can sign up now. It is very loosey goosey. Pretty much, you decide what gifts you're knitting. And then there will be a $50 prize that is picked in November.
From the sign-ups. By signing up, you're entering to win. And your start and stop dates are yours. I think we announced the winner on November. We'll put this down here. I don't remember
the date, but and you can, there's a link in the show notes. You can find all the information. And it's an easy sign-up. You just put your email in. And then you're signed up and entered to win for a prize. So I just brought a little bit of gift knitting to share because honestly I've not made a ton of progress on my knitting the past because even over the weekend I hardly knit at all.
I know. I did quite a bit of knitting. I didn't bring it. Oh my gosh. Well, I brought my sock, but that's about it.
Yeah. So
socks are back now that this is finished, I guess.
Yeah. So I have.
Go ahead.
Should I show?
Yeah.
Okay. It's in my bag, sorry.
Have you shown the nice people your...
I don't know if I've shown this before. I think I showed it last year after Rhinebeck. So this is a beautiful Sister, is the name of this vendor. Sister with a Y, Syster. And it's this cute little, like you can put it on your arm and carry it. I couldn't resist because gnomes. They were really... I had to stay away from... She was at Indie Untangled and I had to stay away from her booth because I could see multiple gnome patterns. And I'm like... no self-control. Well, I guess enough self-control to just walk away.
Right.
So I'm working on sock 2. These are a gift knit.
Love them.
And they're in the Goldfinch colorway. So you've seen these before, but I'm really close.
Yeah.
I thought I would be able to do it last night. But talk about slow knitting. Last night was slow knitting.
Oh, yeah. I've been knitting on my vest more than anything, but not in line at Rhinebeck. So in line at Rhinebeck, I picked up my socks again. Then, do you have more tonight?
I have one other. Do you want to show your sock? Though?
Yeah, let's do it. Not a kitty cat or kitty whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. Know. I'm so tired. Okay, so there's the truth. I don't know what I'm saying. So yes, I had already turned the heel by the time I got to Rhinebeck, which was great because I actually thought I needed to turn the heel. So when I was waiting in line, I was like, okay, I can do this. And I was on this brown segment here, the cinnamon fern. Nice. So yes, not a lot of knitting, but that was waiting in line knitting pretty much. Okay. Was this much. So yeah, I'm really enjoying these. Of course, this is Rambler and just making up my own stripes. Yeah. A little bit, there's jogs. But this is sock number 2, so I'll be finishing this soon.
All right.
Yeah. What do you have?
So, and then this is one, I was inspired by VJ in our Facebook group.
Ooh.
VJ knit a Sailor Swift top. I don't think I
Sailor
printed the
Swift?
photo.
Is that a play on words?
I don't know. It's a cotton tank top. And I'm knitting one for my daughter. So I swatched with Bûches organic cotton and fingering weight.
Ooh.
And so these are my 2 swatches. They were kind of small, but I was impatient.
At least you swatched.
So I swatched. That one was too tight and too many stitches, but this one gets me gauge.
All right.
This is a light gray. The top will be striped.
Oh, I like.
And so I've started.
Pretty.
Pretty. So I stopped because I was like, this looks so small. And here's a pro tip for you. Read the pattern. Because this, I was like, oh, this is too small. Like my daughter is like, she's 22 and tiny. And I'm like, that. I know you're supposed to do like 4 inches negative ease. So it would look even smaller, but it stretches. So read the pattern, genius. You start up here at the top back. So of course it's a little smaller. Yeah. I'm like, what a twit. So, because I was getting nervous, like this looks extra tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's starting up here, not at the bottom.
That is a great pro tip.
So pro tip, read the pattern. But
People do say they learn from us, so that's a good one.
Because I did, as I was getting nervous about like, what am I doing? I noticed at the top it says like top back. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
We're good.
Keep going.
So I actually really like, haven't knit with cotton in years. But
this has a little bit of yarn, wool in it.
No, I think it's 100% cotton.
Oh, this is Biches. I'm thinking
it's the Biches.
I was thinking it was sauna.
No, it's Biches. And that kind of tank top, like I think she'll really wear.
And I just want to give you a shout out for having your little swatches, because I don't know if you can see, but there feels to be a real difference based on the gauge you got. And I think being an explorer of your knitting is really worthwhile. Taking time, even if it's this much, to sort of feel the difference in the fabric in it. Which one is it that you want? And this one feels much more sort of t-shirty and floppy, whereas this one feels much more structured, and that's good information. And
I know some people say, oh, I use the needle size the designer gets, and I always get gauge.
Right.
Once again, I'm at a different needle size to get gauge.
Right. You're holding it backwards.
I know, but you can see the needles either side.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was glad that I did a swatch.
And it feels really good.
It does. It feels really nice, and I'm finding it quite pleasant knitting with the cotton.
That's good.
So it'll get a little more attention now that I've confirmed that yes, my gauge is correct, and I can keep going.
And it's a good quality cotton. I think that makes a difference. I think I tried to knit with cotton and cream at some point, or whatever that's called, from Walmart. And I can crochet with that all day long, but knitting with it was much harder.
If I'm knitting dishcloths, like really loose gauge, but I don't do that very often. Yeah. But for a garment, I liked this, and I loved VJ's on her granddaughter, and thought my daughter would look really nice.
Nice, and she'll wear it.
She'll definitely wear it. No itch factor here for her.
Right.
Little miss, it's itchy.
Yes.
So,
well, good.
Yeah.
So that's everything you're knitting on, and I forgot to bring my vest, but I am making it down the body.
Great.
It's a bit of a Frankenstein. You know, I've been messing with it. So normally when you knit it, you'll knit it bottom up, but I'm knitting it top down right now, and we're almost there. Great. I did cut the neck, and I just need to cut the arms. Okay. Yeah. Notes are over there.
All right.
What's next?
I will say regarding the gift, Cal, there will be, you can chat in both groups, the Facebook group and the Ravelry group. If there should be a thread for the gift make along in Ravelry, and in the Facebook group, just use the hashtag. Yeah. And it's great always seeing what other people are choosing to knit as gifts. It's very inspiring. So please share your work.
I have a very moral quandary.
Yeah.
Well, my not knitworthy daughter has actually requested.
This is not a quandary. I know what this is.
It is, for me. It's very quandary-ish. It is. But she wants me to knit
Nana Duck.
Nana Duck.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
And like, I've knit her things, and she won't wear them. This is not something she's going to wear. This is something she's like, oh.
Yeah. She was in the shop and she saw Nana Duck.
Dear, oh dear. Yeah. So I'm considering that. Okay, it's a small circumference.
I know where you can get the yarn.
Yes, I think I'm all set. There's really no reason not to do it except myself. But maybe I will cast that on and try and do that.
Maybe like knit the bill.
Yeah.
And then put it aside and work on your sock. Yeah. And then knit the head and then put it aside. Like you have enough time if you start now that you can just you can do like, you know, a section at a time.
Okay. This will be fun, folks. This will be fun.
It will.
So yes, it's not my jam, but I think I'll be like, okay, thank you.
I'm very excited now. All right. Why don't we go to a segment?
Yes.
Let's go hang out with Emma and see what Emma is up to.
We'll see you on the other side.
Hi everyone, I'm Emma if we haven't met, and I'm coming to you from Baltimore, Maryland, as I do once a month. So, like many of you, I was at Rhinebeck last weekend, and I am very excited to tell you that I got a fleece, a small fleece, and I am going to show you a little bit about how I'm washing this fleece. So hopefully next month I'll be showing you how I comb the fleece, and then maybe after that I'll show you some spinning. But I love prepping fleece. I just learned how to prep fleece this year. And what I mean by prep fleece is like taking a raw fleece and getting it to a place where I can knit with it. So, well, I guess spin with it. So the first thing I do is that I wash it. So this is the fleece that I got. It's about 2 pounds. It is a Shetland fleece named Teeny. And it is a variety of brown colors. So I'm gonna take some of it out so you can see it. It does smell a little because it came off of a sheep. And you know, they live in barns and fields, and sometimes they stink a little, and that's okay. And so you can see there's a pretty wide variety. So this is a little piece. It's slightly darker brown, not very long. And the staple means the length of the actual, you know, hair, I guess. One lock. Length of a lock. So this one's a little longer. So you can see that's a short one. I'm gonna put this one back in the bag. So this one is one big chunk. And when you prep a fleece, or you need to know about the two different ends of the fleece. So this is the tip. This is the part that is like the end of your hair. And then this is the cut end. So that's gonna be really important when I show you how to comb fleece with Viking combs. I know that Caitlin was here actually just last Shopcast showing you how to card on a drum carder. So that's how you prep for like woolen spinning, or you could prep for worsted spinning on a drum carder as well. But I use 2 Viking combs, which is a way to make a worsted prep. So getting all the fibers aligned. So when you comb the fibers, you need to load the combs with the cut end closest to the tine, and then the tips closer to you, or to away from the comb. So you can align them in a washing bag if you're interested in that, but I tend not to do that because they get jumbled up in the water when you're washing it. So yeah, sometimes I wash my fleece in like a bra wash bag, or a mesh washing bag. I call it a bra wash bag because that's usually the only thing I wash in those. I can't actually find one today, so this is like maybe not a great piece of advice to just go for it, but you can just put it in a pot. So that's what I've done today. So the first thing that I did was actually that I soaked a big, just handful of fleece. So you take about, I don't know, some handful, that might be kind of a lot. And you put it in this is my blocking bucket. You put it in here, you just fill it with water. And I am actually gonna fill this one with water so that you can see what it looks like. So this is the one that I'm gonna show you next, which is the one that is about to go on the stove that's already been soaked. But I'm gonna soak this one first. So I'm gonna soak it in cold water. I'm just gonna fill this bucket with cold water. I'm gonna shower the locks with this. And for most fleeces, when you do this, I'm gonna come a little closer so you can hear me better. It gets really dirty. A lot of dirt and lanolin already comes out in just a soak in cold water. So they tell you to do this. The internet, other spinners, other fleece preppers, shepherds, whoever's doing this on the internet, they say to do this because it loosens some of that dirt up. So you can kind of get in a soak, you get some of that dirt out just the first thing. So I sometimes will like fill this bucket up, notice that the water is absolutely disgusting, and then I will immediately pour it out and fill it up again. So sometimes I do this with the cold water soak like 3 times, just because I'm getting a lot out. One thing I should also tell you though, is that it's most safe to dump water with lanolin into like your yard and not down a drain. So you should be careful with that. If you can, save the water that you use when you're washing your fiber and dump it outside if possible. Just because it's a little sketchy with the septic systems and the sewage system because of the lanolin. But yeah, so I'm gonna bring this over and I'm gonna show you how dirty this water is. Let's see if I can hold it up. I might have to point the camera down. So this, for some of you, this may seem like a very logical thing, but for those of you for whom it's not, I'm just gonna tell you now, you should use things that you never plan to do food prep with when you're prepping wool, and especially with dye, because that's really poisonous. But this is also just kind of like, there's, you know, animal matter in it, and it's like, I don't know if I want that around my food. So I'm gonna tip this down. Can you see that? I'm gonna like, oh, that it's like, you can see it there. That's how dirty the water is. Just like all that that is just a cold water bath, and that is a lot. So I'm loosening that stuff, all the stuff, the lanolin, the dirt, you know, the fecal matter. There's a little bit of that. It's usually when you get a fleece, it's skirted. So this has been skirted. So that means that the really dirty parts have already come off of it. So that's really helpful because it means I can just wash. I don't really have to sort that fleece and skirt it myself, which is great. So once you've soaked it for 30 minutes, which this is not done, so it's gonna stay here. It's like gonna stay here for a while actually because I gotta wash this. Then we put it into a large pot. You can see here, there's already some water in it, so I don't wanna tip it too much further down. And I'm gonna fill this with more water. But water, quite a bit, because you want it to be able to move around a little bit and like really get that nice bath. And you can use Dawn dish soap if you want, but this Power Scour Unicorn Fibre Power Scour, this is really good for getting out lanolin. It is really, like it tells you it's supposed to. So, you know, half a tablespoon of Power Scour per gallon. So it says soak for 15 minutes, rinse in tepid water. Do not rub or agitate wool. So and then it says here to scour fleece. Example, 1 tablespoon Power Scour mixed into 2 gallons hot tap water. Add 1 pound of raw fleece, soak 20 minutes, rinse. So yeah, this, it needs usually 2 washes, so cycles on the stove, like bringing it up to a heat with the Unicorn Scour. And then usually I do it a 3rd time with no soap to just get all the last bits out. It depends how dirty your fleece is. Some fleeces just have so much lanolin in them that you have to soak it like a few times with Power Scour. I have a friend who told me that she was having a really hard time with a fleece recently just because there was so much lanolin in it and it was really hard to get that lanolin out. So this one it's not too bad actually. It's a pretty clean fleece. So far I'm obviously gonna have to wash it. I'll probably have 2 soaks with the Unicorn Scour like I said, and then 1 just last soak. So what's gonna happen, the process of this is that I'm gonna put like another gallon in here. So there's plenty of room for the fleece to move around, and then I'm gonna turn on the stove. And I'm not gonna turn it too high because I have a very powerful stove. And I'm gonna turn it up and I'm gonna heat that water so that the yarn, or the wool, excuse me, usually I'm dyeing yarn, the wool comes up to, you know, a point where it's kind of simmering, maybe it's bubbling quite a bit, but that's okay. You don't have to worry about that wool felting because as long as you're not agitating it in here too much with a like wooden spoon or anything, because you've brought the temperature up gradually. Wool felts when you shock it. So like between hot and cold, that's kind of how you make those felted dryer balls. You have a bowl of really hot water and a bowl of really cold water, and you're constantly shocking it from hot to cold. That's what makes the fibers interlock and felt. So this should be okay. I've done this before. I've never done it with a Shetland fleece though, so this is gonna be fun. I am excited to see what happens, and I will be back next month to show you how I'm combing that fleece. So yep, I'm gonna wash this. Again, 2 times with the Unicorn Scour, once plain. Then I'm gonna dry the fleece. So I'm gonna probably leave it outside. It's gonna be really nice and warm tomorrow, so I'll be able to leave the fleece outside tomorrow and be able to dump the dirty water into my backyard, which is good because it won't it'll, you know, it's been really dry here, so it's okay. And the lanolin is, yeah, it's okay to pour on the ground. It's not toxic or anything. It's just kind of, it's, you know, it's like oily, so not always super safe to dump down your drain. So, you know, that's something you might want to do research on about the area where you live. But it's like dumping dye down the drain. Most people like to exhaust the dye bath, like with acid dyes, which just means that we like the fibers to soak up all of that dye before we put the water down the drain, just because dyes aren't great for the pipes and just the sewage system. So that's all from me. I will see you next month. You can also watch me on Tiny Desk Knitting on YouTube. I try to post once a week. Or follow me on Instagram at Barnaby Knits. If I saw you at Rhinebeck, thank you so much for saying hello. It was so nice to meet everyone. And yeah, have a great one. Bye.
Thank you so much, Emma. I haven't seen your segment yet because I spent all weekend with you, but I'm sure it's wonderful, and I look forward to watching it later. So the Sweater KAL has ended officially.
Yes.
And
it was wonderful. Thoroughly enjoyed watching the threads to see what everyone was knitting, and lots of finished sweaters. So congratulations. If you're still knitting, don't worry about that. Keep knitting. Get there. You'll finish it.
Yeah, I think I have about 3 inches of my sweater done now. So for those of you who are like me and you'll just continue knitting, keep sharing.
Yeah,
keep sharing. It's
definitely.
Great.
Keep showing us your progress.
Yeah, we love seeing your progress. We had a Zoom, which hasn't happened yet in our time, but will have already happened by the time you're seeing this.
For the final shows your knits.
Yeah,
and all
so
that.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's finished sweaters, or mostly finished sweaters, or partially started sweaters. It'll
Whatever
be great.
it is.
Come, and we're so glad.
Yeah, so that will have happened. I think people are signing up for it as we speak.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's next, Maggie, on the show notes? Nitty Natty visited.
Yeah, we wanted to mention Nitty Natty came. And so Nitty Natty, if you aren't aware, has a podcast, and she's been traveling all around the country visiting yarn stores.
All 50 states. We were state 49, which I loved that. Vermont was state 50.
Yeah, and I didn't see her at all at Rhinebeck. I know she was there, but it was...
So I guess Ginger Twist was there too, and we missed her, which was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on Nitty Natty's channel. We will have, and she will be showing her chat with Corinne and tour of the shop in January.
In January, yes.
So.
And also Sarah Fibre Trek was here a couple of weeks ago as well.
Oh, yeah.
And go check out her channel on YouTube. It's Fibre Trek with TREK. Put it there. She has a lovely segment where she and I have a chat, and there's just some video from
Millapalooza.
Yeah, so it's really worth a watch, and go subscribe to her channel.
Great.
Yeah.
And mark your calendars for November 9th if you are local to us.
Yes.
Gudrun Johnston will be visiting us.
Yes.
And doing a trunk show for Jamesons of Shetland.
I think that's our very first trunk show, so it's very special.
Yeah, and remember, I know from talking to her this weekend, we saw her on Friday very briefly.
Yeah.
They're not calling it a trunk show, they're calling it...
Journey show, or... What was that?
I don't remember, but it's kind of like a trunk
show.
She'll have samples, and we'll have yarn. And
Gudrun will be here to meet and greet and talk to you and answer your questions. Of course, she is a Shetland designer who actually lives here in New England, yes. And she's wonderful. She's a great designer and a really lovely person, so we're really thrilled to have her coming and spending time with us and you guys. That's November 9th, so we'll have more information about that coming up soon. I'm going to take my watch off. It's talking to me a lot.
You can mute it.
Do we want to talk about some yarn yet?
Sure.
Okay. So this is very exciting.
This is very exciting, and I don't remember if we showed it last time.
Well, if we did, we're going to show it again because these colors are
they're so beautiful,
gorgeous. So this is Biches Bûches Le Lamb's wool, which is new to the shop with us. And tell us about it, Maggie.
It's wonderful. It is a light worsted weight DK yarn. Woolen spun.
My favorite.
Is really, really nice. Yeah, light worsted. It's really woolly, and we love Le Petit Lamb's wool around here, and we thought it was about time to bring in Le Lamb's wool.
Yep. Because you guys ask for stuff, and we do try to respond and get things in for you.
Yeah. So we've started with a limited number of colors available in the shop, and we can broaden the line.
So this one here is very faded.
Yeah.
Peach, something peach.
Yeah, the printing on the
I think it's Petite Peach, but it's this lovely light peach color.
Yeah, this one is dark gold. That's a really pretty color.
Yeah. This is dark gray brown. Reads actually quite brown or gray, depending on what you tell yourself.
Yeah. It looks very brown to me. Light gray.
Yeah, because these are all very sort of
very heathered
colors. Soft blue green. Lovely.
Oh, I really like this one. Dark green gray. That's lovely. Oh, sorry.
I like this. This is a great color too. Gray beige. Really nice.
Rose gray. That is a lovely color.
It is beautiful.
They're really
and just look
pretty.
at these together.
Yeah. This one's very Jill. Yellow mustard. Just really, really pretty.
Dark red.
Ooh, look at these.
Juicy berry.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Let me see. Yeah. Oh yeah. Gorgeous.
Yeah. Very, very
But so
pretty.
isn't this? I mean, you can't go
Yeah,
wrong.
you really can't. And then off-white.
And beige, which is a yellow beige, I would say.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really beautiful.
Lovely jubbly. So we've got these in. Show them some love, and we'll get more colors. If there's a color you want that we don't have, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really happy to be supporting that line or that vendor, Biches Bûches. They do a great job, and they have beautiful yarns.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Speaking of beautiful yarns.
Yeah.
We have some new Manchalope colors in the shop. Do you want to hold these?
Yeah.
And I'll go over their names.
Oh, by the way, I just felt them. Oh.
I know, they're so nice. So Manchalope, if you are new here
Yes.
or new to Wool Dreamers, Manchalope is an unspun Manchego wool, which is a Spanish sheep. Wool Dreamers is from Spain. And it comes off of the plate in like two
strands.
Two strands.
Yeah.
And you can either hold them together or hold it as a single. It is a little easier to knit with if you hold them double. A lot of patterns are written for holding it double, but you can knit it both ways.
And you unwind it from the outside so that you're being gentle with it.
Yeah.
But again, once it's knitted, it's going to be strong. It's not fragile.
No.
But it's super light because there's no twist in it to put more wool in it, I suppose. It's very light and airy and
Very
gorgeous.
bouncy.
So do you want to tell? Now, I was like, wow, this is very bright. But can you imagine knitting this with, a cream?
Yeah,
And doing a Norwegian
I really like
motif?
it. I would totally wear a sweater that color.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is your kind of
just
color.
really like.
So do you want to tell us the colors then?
Sure. So I will do my best. There are 3 blues, and I believe that this is the cobalt blue.
Yep.
If I'm wrong, we'll put it on the screen. This is the ocean blue.
Which is gorgeous. It's got a sort of green leaning.
Yeah. And this one's navy blue.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, if you want to see the difference of the 3, they're quite different, but they're all really beautiful.
Yeah.
That one is mustard.
Jill's color.
Yeah, and that one, if you look, it's kind of heathered. There's like some pops of pink in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see them.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Beautiful.
That one is red wine.
Like the
It
old
really
song.
does look like
it does,
red wine.
like Merlot.
And then last but not least, we have poppy field.
Yes.
Which you can see, it's a green with like little hits of red in there.
I'm not sure
So
I'm
pretty.
not sure the color of this is shown up as well as it could. It's beautiful. Really nice.
It really is.
Oh my, that's going to wake me up.
Yeah. Also in from Wool Dreamers, our new Moda neons. Neons really having a moment.
They are. We saw a lot of neon
yeah.
at Rhinebeck.
We've been excited actually. I keep looking at this green one. I think it's so fun. I think too, mixing these, like I think this would be really fun in a color work yoke. Like for me, I always think blue. So like blue with like a pop of bright green.
Yeah.
That would be really great. Yeah. So
you got 2 yellows. You've got definitely highlighter yellow, and this is a paler yellow.
Yeah, and the colors are numbered. So that's number 6. This orange, if you have hunters in your life, that is a color number 1.
And this is their Moda, which is a worsted weight, so a nice quick hat.
I think it's technically classified as a DK,
Sorry.
but it is quite fluffy. Like the sweater that I knit with it called for a worsted weight, so it's got some flexibility.
Yeah.
Which is pretty common with worsteds or woolen spun yarns.
And these are 100-gram balls.
Yeah, this one is color number 5. That's a fun peachy
pink.
Yeah. This yellow. to do
ice searing
very
yellow.
Bright. Color number 3. And this green, the label keeps popping out on me, is color number 7. I do really like
Juicy. Love it. All right.
it's
So that wakes
wonderful.
you up for sure.
So those are available in the shop now, and you can grab them all and make something beautiful. Do we want to go to another segment?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go see Kelsey.
All right. We'll see you on the other side.
Hi, it's Kelsey coming in to talk to you a little bit about some knitting and some ideas for gifts, because here we are at the end of October, and that's what I think is a lot on a lot of knitters' minds at this point. There are people definitely who have been knitting for gifts all year. I'm not one of them. So this is a good time to jump in. And also there's the Woolly Thistle is having a gift KAL start. I think it already started actually, but you can jump right in and participate with everybody and have a good time knitting along. So first things first, ta-da! If you've been watching the Shopcast, this is my long running whip. I should move my hair so you can see the neck. It is the Skyline Tee by Tori Yu, and I knit it in Wool Dreamers Sauna, which is their wool cotton fingering weight blend, in the color Fratelli. So it's a gray, but it's definitely a bluish gray color. It's a drop shoulder, but just kind of slightly, not an exaggerated drop, with these little sleeves and this cool saddle shoulder detail, if you can see it, going down from the top here. Just wanted to share something I really enjoyed about this. Because of the saddle shoulder, it's knit flat at the top, so you can control the depth of the front neck. So none of this messing with, you know, wrap around short rows or anything in the back. You're knitting these two pieces, and then you're picking up, and you are doing some shaping. I won't say that you're not doing some shaping, but you are purposely making a back piece and a front piece that are different shapes. So your back piece is more of a true if I can even do a rectangle, a true rectangle, and the front piece has that scoop actually shaped out of it. So that's the Skyline Tee, and it's finished. It's been on the Shopcast probably 3 or 4 times at this point, but it's done. So jumping into some gift ideas. The first one is the one that I'm wearing. You may have seen it in the last Shopcast. This is called the Zap Cap. I didn't knit it in the recommended yarn, but the recommended yarn is Rauma Finull yarn. So we have plenty of Rauma Finull yarn, and in lots of colors. This is it's a medium contrast version, I guess. It's sort of the two colors are similar in tone. It looks a little different on the camera than it is in person. This is really kind of a flamingo pink color, and this is sort of a peachy orange color. But absolutely you can go with neutrals. You can go with really, really stark contrast with a very light color and a very dark color. Two completely different colors, you know, a very light green and a very dark purple. But you could also go with, you know, white and gray. You can do something very neutral with it. So it does have a double brim that's knit. You can see it's knit on the inside as well, the same way. And then you knit it all the way up to the top. So that's the first gift idea that I wanted to share. As I said, it calls for Rauma Finull yarn. That would be my first recommendation, would be Rauma Finull yarn. And then the second would be John Arbon Yarnadelic, which actually knits very similar to Rauma Finull yarn, but it is Falklands Corriedale, so it's a bit softer of a yarn. So especially if you're knitting a gift for anyone who doesn't really like the woolly wool right here on their heads, that's a good option to knit instead. The second that I have, I'm just shifting through my papers. Oh, and it's not a great picture because it's black and white, but it's called The World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knits. And if you can see in the picture, you can see one of the I think that's one of the designers covering her eyes, or a friend maybe, and then a kid with the same mittens. The thing that's great about Tin Can Knits is they write their patterns from, you know, newborn infant all the way up to gigantic adult. Let's see, this one says toddler to adult large. So there are 5 different sizes, which is quite a lot for mittens. And you can always knit them longer or shorter with your fingers or whatever it is. The sizing is all about this measurement around your hand, just like it would be for your hat or a sock in particular. It's the measurement around your foot, and you can adjust for the length. It's the same true for mittens. The other thing that's great about that, well, 2 more things. It's a free pattern, and it is also, if you can see, has instructions for every yarn weight between fingering and chunky. Fingering, DK, worsted, or chunky. So not everyone, but most of them. So whatever yarn you've got, whoever you want to knit for, whatever climate you live in, if you need, you know, thin mittens, if you need thick mittens, it's a really great go-to pattern. I've probably knit 4 pairs of these for my kids in various sizes and various thicknesses, and just to have a bunch of mittens for kids is a great idea. And it really, so like a child's mitten in worsted weight requires 100 yards, so that's about a half a skein for a pair of mittens. So that's not a bad deal at all. So I just wanted to share that, the world's simplest mittens. The next I actually also have to demonstrate. Is this right side in? Yep. This is the Traveler KAL by Andrea Mowry. So famous designer, popular designer. You probably have heard of her or some of her work before, but I wanted to point out this one in particular because number one, most of it, down to there where I had to add something else, is hand spun by Caitlin, also of the Woolly Thistle. She kindly gifted this to me in a yarn swap that we did last year. And I actually just finished this the other day. So it is a cowl that's knit flat, but it has some really great structure to it because of these, if you can see, they're sort of welts, but they're not attached to each other. They're really thick garter ridges. So it's 2 ridges on the front and three purl ridges on the back. So another thing, very similar to the mittens, you can knit this with any gauge yarn. She recommends between fingering and worsted weight, but it's all knit to measurements. It has stitch counts for the gauge that she wrote it for, but I had hand spun that I didn't actually know what the thickness was. Caitlin had made it a few years ago. She didn't remember how much yardage it was. She didn't know thickness, all these things. So I just started and I just kept going, and I ended up needing to add a bit more. But you can kind of do what you want. You can use any weight of yarn. Tighter gauge is going to give you a stiffer cowl that sits up more on its own. And a looser gauge will definitely like kind of drape down lower. And that's all relative to the yarn. So a fingering weight at 18 stitches will be really drapey, where a worsted weight at 18 stitches would be more robust and stand up for itself. So I just wanted to share that. And a couple of recommendations I have for this, for yarns that we carry at the Woolly Thistle. One would be Retrosario Vovo. It's a sport weight and it has a round structure that I think would pop really nicely in this texture. And you could knit it to sort of that middle weight, middle drapiness. That's nice in this kind of pattern. And the second is actually West Yorkshire Spinners Color Lab DK. It's a sock yarn, so it has a bit of nylon in it, but it's a DK weight, and it has a color shifting, kind of self-striping, flashing thing to it that I think looks the best, in my opinion, in small accessories like this. So even if you're trying to get something in the mimicking handspun range, I think that's a great option. You could clearly go to other handspuns or something else, but that Color Lab DK is a good multicolored option that we have at the Woolly Thistle. So the Traveler KAL. The next one is actually a pretty new pattern, and it's called the Gooseberry Shawl by Ksenia Nadian. She's a Ukrainian designer who I believe now lives in Los Angeles. It is one of the kind of popular style of shawls now, where you start at one pointy end and you increase until you get halfway through your yarn, and then you decrease to the other pointy end. But this one's a bit cool because it has this textured pattern to it. I haven't knit this myself, but I did purchase the pattern the other day because it's just so cool. They show samples in the pattern pages, fingering weight through DK weight. So again, it's one of those where you've got a certain amount of yarn, or you've got a certain type of yarn or a color of yarn or something in your stash that you want to use. You can use it. So Gooseberry Shawl. But I did want to mention Studio Donegal Darnie as a good option for this because it's got some flecky things. I think it will play well with that texture. and it just is a nice feel for around your neck. It's 100% wool, but it's very soft in a kind of lamb's wool cottony kind of way, not in a slippery superwash merino kind of way, but in a soft and fluffy kind of way. And then the second, for similar reasons, is Mountain Meadow Coty. It's a sport weight, so it's a little bit thicker than the Darnie. It's not tweedy, it's just a solid color, but it's made from Rambler wool, which is sort of an American merino style wool grown in out west, primarily out in the American West. So, and that is spun in Wyoming. It's a great sort of 2-ply yarn that I think will both show that texture, not to flash this all the time, but show that texture pretty well, and comes in some great colors and will be good for most people against the skin. I mean, there are some people who can't tolerate any wool at all, but it is one of the softer wools that we definitely carry. And the very last thing is not a garment or wearable item at all. These are the Lizard Ridge coasters, and it's hard to see in this black and white photo, but they are felted coasters that end up with these kind of almond shape, eyeball shapes, by doing some short rows in the pattern. What you do is it's a free pattern available on Ravelry. You knit a big square and then felt it in the washing machine and then cut it into the 4. So they recommend an actual color shifting yarn. They recommend a Noro yarn. But I would recommend Junction Fiber Mill making tracks, or they even say in the pattern, you can change the colors wherever you want to with sort of solid color yarns. So changing colors in something that's a really feltable wool like the Lopi yarns, I'd recommend either Let Lopi or for something even thicker, Alifos Lopi, because you don't really care what size these are. It could be either one of those. And then they'll felt down to these squishy felt, but hand knit and hand designed coasters. So those are the Lizard Ridge coasters. So that's all I wanted to share today. I just wanted to share those couple of ideas. Thanks for joining me again and listening to everything and tolerating my, one sweater over 5 months kind of production. And I just wanted to say hey to everybody who said hello over the weekend at Rhinebeck. It was great to see everybody. But yeah, I hope you all have some great gift knitting coming up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much, Kelsey, for your video. Again, I look forward to watching it.
Me too.
It will be amazing because it always is.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Should we go to a giveaway now? And do our second,
let's announce our second winner. Our
right.
second winner for today is at Lee Bryce 4010. And Lee says, thanks for the Shopcast. I just got a drum carder at an auction, so thank you, Caitlin, for your segment.
Ooh.
Good to hear from Rachel again. Looking forward to her updates. Loved the Shetland segment.
Yeah.
What fun they had.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, Lee, if you want to email us at info@thewoollythistle and put prize winner in all caps, we will get you your $25 gift card.
Yes, it's important we tell them how to get their prize.
Still a little tired.
I know.
Having moments where I'm like,
I feel like I know, and I'm just sort of rolling downhill here for some reason. It's not on a hill.
It's not. It's very flat.
Yes, and if you would like to be in the running for a prize next time, all you need to do is leave a comment down below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to the Woolly Thistle podcast channel, and you'll be in the running. Cat Talk. Okay, so Maggie, I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Of course, there's loads and loads of lovely things in the shop for you to peruse. So please do visit the shop. We have a few 12-day boxes left, which is our 12 days of cheer. Our team's been busy packing those. Right.
And
gorgeous.
They're
yes,
amazing.
and we have a few left. So if you'd like them, I would say go ahead. Also, our tote bags and our carry-all bags are great for the holidays as well. And our blankets are here.
Yeah.
So we've got lots of good things in the shop right now. Of course, we've got all our Jameson and Smith and Rauma and all that as well. And all these lovely yarns behind us. We met Tina of Tuku Wool at Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
That was a delight. Yes. So got to talk to her a little bit. So let's go back to Rhinebeck. We'll share our photos and videos with you. And then we'll have Kim doing some lovely yoga this week. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for being customers and fans of the Woolly Thistle. We really appreciate you. I think all that's left to say, Maggie, is if you go out,
take your knitting.
bye.
Here is a recap of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival Weekend 2024. 13 of Woolly Thistle staff and friends joined up together for a really wonderful weekend. On Friday, we started at Indie Untangled, the first time for many of us going to this event. There was beautiful seating, food trucks, 3 buildings of shopping. We spent most of the time socializing and talking. We had a 2-hour shopping window and then could be on the grounds in the sun, enjoying some knitting and visiting. It was a really lovely way to start the weekend. And it was surrounded by the Catskill Mountains, just a beautiful scenery. Then on Saturday, we started off the first day of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, also known as Rhinebeck, at the Dutchess County Fairgrounds. We, of course, went to visit our friends at Junction Fibre Mill. Their booth was always hopping. Lovely to see them having so many visitors and shoppers to the booth. We had just perfect weather, peak colors of all the trees. We had some of our Rambler yarns set up at the Bat and Kill Fibers booth you saw there. And it was just a full weekend of visiting, saying hello to so many wonderful Thistlers. Here's the footage of the meetup on the hill. We had just such a lovely group of people stop by, both at the visit and just throughout the festival, to say hello, show off their knits, and just really enjoy the joy of knitting and being together. We had just the perfect weather, sun, and got up to the low 70s. So we could still wear some wool, especially in the shade. And it's the best weather we've seen in a couple years for this festival. I'd say the crowds were also probably more numerous than they have been in previous years. So lovely to see so many people traveling out. Here again is near the Bat and Kill booth. We took in some of the animal parade, the llamas and goats, take a little parade around the grounds. There are so many buildings full of vendors and some, well-known companies. Here's some of the auction that's going on. There's a bunch of used and antique, all kinds of equipment and things for sale. There's also sheepdog demonstrations, herding, and also frisbee catching. There are barns full of the animals. Of course, the festival started mostly as a way for farmers to bring their sheep for judging. And then, of course, the knitters caught on. And here's a Corriedale sheep. The animal barns were especially full of families on the second day, Sunday. That was a quieter day with less crowds, but more of the locals seemed to come. Here's some beautiful Black Welsh Mountain sheep, a fiber that we know and love from some yarns at the Woolly Thistle. Nice to take a break from shopping and visiting to go spend some time with some chill animals. Here are 2 llamas, which you'll see are a good deal bigger and kind of have longer faces and ears than the alpacas. Here you can see them. If you listen close, you'll hear them humming. It's the sweet sound they make. These are Wakaya alpacas, which are the fuzzier ones. There's also a bunch of book stalls where there are publishers and authors. We visited with Claudia Quintanilla. She's written Memory Lane and Making Memories. Here are Yona from Lina Publishing and Dee Hardwick showing off some of the knits and samples from her most recent book, Cultivate. They were lovely to chat with, and just so nice to see all of the samples and see what they're like in real life. Just amazingly light and soft and just beautiful. So the food is all available at the festival there. There's lots more to do than shopping for yarn. Just taking in the sights, visiting, enjoying the sweaters. It was a weekend to remember. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you might get a chance to check out this festival someday. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Yoga for Knitters. My name is Kim and I am a yoga teacher and a knitter based in central Alberta in Canada. Thank you so much for being on this yoga knitting journey with me. I am so enjoying the time that we get to spend together, and I really love to read your comments in the YouTube videos, so thank you for that. If you want to learn more about what I do, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Ravelry, YouTube, and Patreon. There, I think I got that out of the way. So this month's class is all about hips and digestion. As we come into the cooler months of the year for many of you, you're going to find that food becomes more of a comfort. You want to sit around and be a little lazier, be more creative. But the problem with all of that sitting is that we're not moving. So things in our intestines don't move as well, and our hips get really tight. So this small segment is just a part of the Patreon class that I do every month for patrons, but it specifically focuses on your hips and your digestion so that you can continue to feel great, even if you're moving a little bit slower as things get a little cooler into the fall and winter. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. This next section is one of my favorite series for hips and digestion. It's going to feel so good. So I want you to come down into a pigeon pose. So let's start with our left leg in the front and the right leg in the back. So our left knee's bent, our right leg straight behind us, and our hips are square over the mat. So check in with your knee. If your knee is feeling kind of twingy, maybe have a little bit less angle at the knee here. If you feel like this is really easy, maybe you have a little bit more angle at the knee. Okay, so find that perfect space and then slowly and gently lower yourself down onto your forearms and work towards maintaining a nice square space between the two hip points and the mat. So we're not tilting one side or the other, we're just hovering, and we're letting gravity very slowly open up the hips just by pushing the booty down towards the mat. And if you get to the point where like, hey, this is getting easy, maybe it'd be a little more challenging if you stacked your hands and let your forehead rest on top of them. And it's not meant to hurt. It's not meant to be stressful. It's just meant to be there. You're noticing the stretch. And you're enjoying the stretch. At least that's what you're going to tell yourself. Good. On your next inhalation, we're going to just use our arms and come on up. Hi, Brian. Come on up. We're still in our pigeon pose. But here you have options. You can either come right onto your fingertips and start to engage the legs, or you can go a little bit deeper by bending that back right leg, reaching the right hand back to grab it, and balancing like that. So neither of my hands are on the floor. But you have options. You can go to any of those other pigeon poses we just did if this one is not speaking to you today. What I like about this one though is the quad stretch. We don't do a whole lot of quads in yoga, and that's a shame because those muscles get quite tight, and especially they're tight when we sit too much. Okay, from here we're going to be very dancer-like and beautiful as we settle onto our left hip and wrap that right foot all the way up and around. Good, so both bum cheeks are sitting on the floor, and we're wrapping our left hand around our right knee and then continuing to twist around, wrapping our torso around our spine. And breathe deep. And just think, not only is this a wonderful stretch for the outer hip, but this is a wonderful stretch and toning exercise for your organs because they're in a position they're not used to. If you ate recently, you'll know how squished everything is right now. And you're breathing, so you're massaging them from the inside out. This is going to improve digestion, absorption, just the overall functionality of the digestive system. Okay, let's come back to center. And this time, bring your knees together. So it's like this fancy dinner squat where your thighs are squished together. You're going to come back onto your back, grab a hold of your feet, and just pull them in towards you. You can grab your thighs too, or your shins, whatever you can reach. This is a reclined fire log, which is much, much nicer than the seated version, let me tell you. Breathe deep. Remember, breathing is a very big part of digestion. Breathe all the way down into your belly. Feel your belly pushing against your thigh. And then we'll release, untwist the legs, grab a hold of the soles of your feet, point them up towards heavens. Soul, heaven, get it? It's a good way to remember. And then use your hands to pull the knees down. Your knees are on the outside of the frame of your body. So they're stretching down beside the ribs, not on the ribs. If you like, you can add a small rock. This is a wonderful way to massage the muscles of the low back. And release. We're going to rock and roll back up to a seated position. You ready? Another great back massage here. And then, which side did you do first? You had your left foot bent for pigeon. This time we're going to have a right foot bent. And draw that left leg back behind you. Just like that. Choose the angle at your knee that gives you stretch without any kind of pain. Square the hips so that they hover over the mat. And then maybe you can lower yourself down onto your forearms or maybe onto your hands stacked. And just breathe here and notice the beautiful stretch in the outer hip. Relax your face and smile because you're doing something good for you right now. This is self-care at its finest. I love how different the stretch feels in each of the different positions. Good. And then you can stay in one of those two variations or balancing with the thighs as your support. Reach that left hand back for the left foot and enjoy a beautiful quad stretch. Breathing, breathing. Good. All right. Whew. We'll uncurl. Let the right hip roll onto the mat. Take the left leg up and around and then settle so that both sits bones are glued to the mat. Then you're going to wrap your right arm around your left knee. Twist yourself around and enjoy a beautiful twist. Close your eyes and just breathe. Massaging your organs. It's like wringing out a sponge. So like your blood isn't dirty or anything like that, but I'm just, for the sake of a simile or a visual picture, imagine you have a sponge that's full of dirty water. So you squeeze the sponge. And all that dirty water, or in this case, possibly stagnant blood, gets squeezed out And then when you untwist, all this fresh, oxygenated, happy, nutrient-rich blood just washes into your organs. It's wonderful. Okay, from here, we're going to lie down on her backs and really squeeze the knees together, or the thighs together. So fancy dinner kind of position, even though it's not so good for your varicose veins if you sit like this all the time. Okay, grab a hold of either your feet or your shins. Pull your feet towards you. Settle the back onto the mat. And enjoy a beautiful stretch where you're the boss. The more bend you have in that left knee, the easier this is going to feel. And the more straight you can make that left knee, the more challenging this fire log pose is going to be. So pick your poison and breathe. And then we'll uncurl. Grab a hold of the soles of your feet, coming back into a happy, happy baby. Maybe taking a rock from side to side. Or just staying still. Letting the weight of your arms pull your feet toward the mat. Relax your face. Let the space between your eyebrows smooth out. And breathe. And then we're going to come into Shavasana, your very best Shavasana. So one nice way to get into Shavasana is by working for it. So that's what I'm going to do. Arms and feet pointing to the floor. And then I'm going to very slowly, with my back glued to the mat, lower both down, working hard, engaging the legs, engaging the arms, engaging the core. And then when I land, letting it all go. It's easier to relax when you're first doing the opposite. So Shavasana is your opportunity, or the opportunity of your body, to absorb everything you just taught it. So your body's like, oh, you know what? When I do those things, everything in this abdominal area feels like I paid attention to it. There's energy there. Things are flowing and moving. And your hips are probably feeling pretty tingly and alive right now too, because they've had a nice stretch. And we must remember too that energy goes where thought flows. Energy flows where thought goes. So if we bring all of our awareness to our hips and our abdomen, we're going to have greater opening, more blood flow, more movement, and better health. And of course, the other part of digestion is rest. Our body can put more energy into digestion if we just stop every now and then and relax. So let your breath continually deepen, so that every inhalation just takes you deeper and deeper into a place of wonderful healing and relaxation. And maybe we'll just do some very simple box breaths as we lie here. So next time you inhale, I want you to count to 4. And then gently hold your breath for 4. Exhale for 4. And then hold your breath for 4. So ready? Here we go. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3. Last round. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. And now breathe just the way you want to breathe. Let it happen flawlessly without thought. And allow any final vestiges of tightness or tension to melt away as the mat comes up to meet you, to cradle you, to hold you in comfort. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.